Hi, I'm Mike Becker with PIA, joined today by Dave Smith and Keith Savino. Dave is Senior Vice President of Technology for Preferred Mutual Insurance Company. Preferred has a four-state footprint: New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, where they write $330 million of premium. They're headquartered in New Berlin, New York, for those baseball fans out there like myself. That's not too far from Cooperstown. They write both personal and commercial lines, where they rely on the strength of the independent agent distribution channel. Dave's been with them for 16 years in a variety of technical roles. Currently, Dave and his team are responsible for the technical infrastructure, as well as applications and data architecture, and developing a competitive advantage for Preferred through technology solutions. Also have Keith here. Many of you know Keith Savino. He's a principal with Broadfield Insurance. It's a member of PCF Insurance Services. He's located in Warwick, New York. Keith has a specialty among many in technology and cyber risk. He's got 30 years in the industry, where he's been a CIO at a number of top US brokerage firms. He's been past president of PIA, past chair of NetView, that's a network of Vertafore users. He's been past president of the CPIA Society. He's a prior board member of Accord. He's a member of Ivan's advisory board. The list goes on for Keith. So both of you guys, thank you for joining me today, spending a few minutes today. We're about 2 months or so into this COVID-19 outbreak, and let's just jump into it. Keith, you and I have spoke quite a bit over the past couple of weeks and months here about your experience, among other topics, in the COVID-19 outbreak era. What have you learned having been weeks into this outbreak?
Well, Mike, the first thing we learned, as a little refresher to our similar video maybe 6 weeks ago, is that unfortunately, because we're in a region of the country where we already have to get used to things like snow and unfortunately catastrophes, most of the firms around here should have been prepared for these types of, very quickly stay-at-home requirements. All of our staff, when we bring them on board, are hired with the idea that they need to be prepared to work from home at any point in time. That's just a fact of life in this region. And so we were prepared for that part of it, and that was instant. And going back to the week of March 2nd, we told our staff that, look, as this thing evolves and we don't know where it's going, we want you to work from wherever you feel safest. Our primary concern is our family. And what I mean by that is our Broadfield family, the folks who we work with. And my brother and I have always been committed to that. So that was the quick and easy part of it, because that was as if there was a snowstorm coming or something else. People had that happen. Going 8 weeks later, you realize that there's a lot to do with more than technology. It's about the relationship and technology. So that's one of the reasons why we're on so many face-to-face, video calls. We have multiple services for those. And that's not just with our own staff, but that's also with our carriers. So now we're finding that, first of all, I want to give a shout out. I think I get the best staff ever. I mean, our folks have been fantastic through this entire process. And I'm really, really, really blessed to have the folks that we have that we call our family. They work really hard for the clients. They try to have a good client experience, but they've also done all of this with little or no concerns or complaints, right? And the same is for most of the carriers that we work with. And, whether it's a national carrier or a regional carrier, look, on our side, we expect the same level of service, right? We want good technology and we want a good relationship from the carriers that we work with, because just past us is the client, the insured, and the insured wants that regardless of who the carrier is, right? So the companies who are able to provide us with great technology to help service our clients and provide a good customer experience are wonderful. But then you also have the carriers that have gone out of their way to make sure that they're building a relationship during these times with the principals, with the staff, with our marketers, with our producers, with whoever it might be. And that's why I'm so excited to be on this call today with David.
Right. So, there's a lot of core components of an agent's experience with a company. And you mentioned a couple that were pretty key right now: relationship and technology. There's maybe even more of an emphasis on those right now. And Dave, from a carrier standpoint, can you give us, your 6-8+ week check-in on the COVID-19 outbreak? I mean, are you all working from home? Has technology been a big part of your life to help facilitate that? What's it look like from your perspective?
Sure, thanks. And, as a result of our strategic focus on ensuring business continuity and systems and data protection, Preferred was really well positioned technically to quickly and efficiently react to the COVID-19 pandemic, moving to a fully remote workforce. Going back to 2015 and 16, we embarked on a desktop virtualization infrastructure initiative with the goal of enhancing our business continuity capabilities and further enhancing the cutting edge security of our systems and data. And by 2016, all of our employee desktops were virtualized and running on servers in our data center. So this included about 300 employees, many of whom are dispersed across the country. The virtualization keeps all of our applications and data within our data center and off mobile devices such as laptops and tablets. So employees are equipped with just a thin client laptop with just enough information to allow them to connect to our environment. So as long as our employees have access to an internet connection, we can securely connect to environment and access everything they need from the desktop, including the ability to make and take phone calls. And as Keith was mentioning, that certainly includes lots of Zoom calls or WebEx calls or the calls of your choice. So complementing our virtual desktop technology is part of our normal business continuity planning and new employee onboarding. We encourage and require employees to occasionally work remotely. This ensures they are familiar with the experience and can work productively at home. And when we made the decision really to move fully remote to a fully remote workforce, we responded quickly and had all of our employees working from home over the course of just a couple of days. The combination of technology, preparation, and as Keith mentioned, our people have really been key. It's really allowed us to continue to meet and deliver on the expectations of our agents, policyholders, and employees. It's really been a strong moment for Preferred Mutual.
Yeah, that's great. Now you both had made a similar comment, which is that technology is just a regular course of business for you, and working from home and remote abilities are part of both of your onboarding scenarios, which I think helps agents and companies of all sizes get through COVID-19. There's a little bit of baptism by fire in terms of technology integration and to do businesses over the past couple of weeks. Speaking of those employees, I'd love to hear from both of you, the agency side and the carrier side, with the benefit of hindsight of working from home in this really unusual, unprecedented time. What have you seen in terms of successful practices with engaging and motivating employees? Keith, you want to give us some perspective on the agency side?
So I think a lot of it has to do with what kind of a team you started with to begin with. I do believe I probably have one of the best teams we've ever had. My brother would agree with you about this, and that was reflected in what occurred. So for us, and ditto, I could go through David's list and I could talk about the same thing. We have technology that both works online and in airplane mode. We're able to continue to do business even if we get disconnected. We do also work with managed services companies that manage our IT, our infrastructure, cyber exposures. I mean, I can get into a lot of the nuts and bolts of that. And that's all great because, we had that in place. So it was easy for us to spin that up because it was already running, right? As David pointed out, we have people who work from home on occasion. So the getting acclimated to it in a snowstorm is different than running it for 10 weeks, right? So it's a different perspective, and not on the technology. It's the same technology. It's more on the people. So, after the first week or two, people started realizing it, like, maybe I should settle in. I think I need to clean my office, or, we already support multiple monitors out of the box. So that was great. Most of our staff already had that. But I do know of agencies that would give somebody a laptop. They had no multiple monitors. They really weren't comfortable working from home. You could tell there was a real human perspective. The second is, the term that I use is present. So, you can have people that are physically in your office or not physically in your office. If they're not present, they're not present, right? So, I think that a good team to begin with employees that are focused on the customer experience are going to do that regardless of where they're located. And in fact, today, we probably are more in touch with our staff visually on a weekly basis than ever. I just got off a call a little while ago that was our office water cooler. That's no business talk allowed because people will want to go there. I got a question about this. And we invite the employees. It's midweek, it's on Wednesdays, and everyone can come. And we always get pretty close to a full house because people want it. We tell them, you want to take the call outside, take the call outside. You want your kids in the background. We want to see your kids. right? Like, it's about you because it's a family. So we want them engaged. And I will tell you what, you need that to de-stress. Because in a traditional office environment, somebody spins their chair, and has a conversation with someone else. Or they walk down the hall and poke their head in an office and say, you got a minute? Sometimes they just need to vent or interact or communicate. And so we have created that environment. And then each one of our departments do that as well.
It's something we do at PIA too. It's a coffee break, and it's a standing video meeting just like this. We get just about full participation every week we do it, and it's what's going on in your life. What are the high points? What's the frustration? And it's non-work. It's just kind of the collegiality, and it's a little bit of normal in this really unusual time. So kudos for that. I think it's a great idea.
You need it, but something else. Remind your folks to stop working.
Right.
One of the challenges for people is they start earlier and they end later, and we remind people all the time, walk away, chill. Hey, and by the way, also, while this has all been going on over this period of time, very few people are saying, I need to take a vacation day. There's no PTO involved. People are just rolling and hello, time out. You have to be healthy, right? So, we've been encouraging folks to start putting in PTO requests. Even if the PTO is I'm going to move from my office to the, living room, which is what most folks are doing in this region right now. That's the example of paid time off, right? Or vacation. And most, we're coming up to a holiday weekend now. A lot of folks, that's what they're doing, or they're going outside and planting. Point is, we want folks to have a normal life because then they're better when they're on the phone with clients that, they're clearly committed to taking care of the client already. If we didn't have a good team to start with, I might say different things today. Right. But, and I'm sure there are agencies who feel that way, and they can't wait to get every one of their employees back at their desk, rounded away. Look, a good employee is a good employee.
That's good insight, good perspective. Hey, Dave, from a carrier perspective, a couple hundred employees, a couple different states, how are you engaging employees?
Yeah, thanks. So we recognize right from the start that understanding that our employers are going through a stressful time, many of them balancing childcare, homeschooling, health concerns with the pandemic, all while working from home. And it's been really important and critical to us from the start to show our support and our appreciation and to provide a robust collaboration and engagement plan. So we our HR and corporate communications team engaged right at the very beginning and providing really frequent COVID updates, including closures, guidance from the CDC, and updates regarding government-related mandates. But then, once we actually got into being fully remote, we started getting into some additional engagement activities. So we had the home office contest, for example, where employees are sending in pictures of their home office configuration, and they shared that, and we shared that with our intranet. We did things like Dinner on Us for our employees, where we've got the combined, with a combined purpose of supporting both local businesses while also encouraging our employees to take that break, stop working, go treat yourself and your families to a takeout dinner. We also had regular communications from our CEO, Chris Taft, and as part of the senior executive team, we worked together on creating some videos and audio messages, really providing words of encouragement and thanking employees for their commitments during these challenging times, encouraging them to, take part in the social distancing, take the breaks from work, step away, take a walk at lunch, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Some of the things that, and Keith, you touched on, well, actually both of you touched on this, but some of the things that have been really popular with our employees are our virtual team lunches, or we even have virtual team after hours gatherings, where it's not business talk, it's really just sitting down, having that casual interaction and conversation, even taking part in some games like trivia and those sorts of activities. So, and then probably one of the things we did that I think was maybe my favorite was we did a Spirit Week, which again included photo-related contests, and some of these themes included a sports day, a Tiger King day, and dress like a superhero day. So again, it's really, you know, building that sense of family that that our culture is really built upon. And so we've really been able to strive for that and do that even as you know, as we're all remote.
Yeah, those are great ideas, Dave. We look forward to seeing your Joe Exotic outfit. So you can share that with us. But hey, you know, we're starting to hear that some states are slowly starting to open up. Dave, any idea on when you'll reopen the office or what that might look like?
Sure. So we continue to plan our return to work with really the health, safety, and well-being of our employees and their families as our top priority. So again, reflecting back on some of the things I covered earlier, some of the technical capabilities that we have, we're really at full capacity, and we're able to meet the expectations of our agents and our policyholders and employees working remotely. This allows us to take a conservative approach with returning to the office, allowing us to doing it patiently and in phases. So we're going to continue to monitor developments, ensuring that we have our agility and really also making sure we're complying with changes in any government regulations. The earliest that we're actually going to be pulling employees back to the office will be sometime in June. But again, it's going to be patiently, likely in phases, and with the safety and welfare of our employees as our primary concern.
Sure, that makes good sense. Keith, Dave, thank you both for joining me and spending a few minutes today. Two incredible leaders in this industry with just phenomenal technology expertise. So we appreciate it. If you want to learn a little bit more about Keith's incredible biography, you can check out his agency. It's www.broadfieldinsurance.com. And Dave, thank you again for your time here. You can check out Preferred Mutual at www.preferredmutual.com. That's preferredmutual.com. So especially if you're an agent in the New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, or New Hampshire footprint, check them out. Thank you both very much. I hope you all are staying well, staying healthy, and look forward to connecting with you all soon. Thank you.